This is a video to help you with some of the homework problems from Lesson 4.2, Part 2. We're talking about the binomial theorem, and I've selected a couple of word problems. They're really probability problems that utilize the binomial theorem in order to come up with the answer. So once again, I hope this helps you, but don't let this stop here. I hope that you'll take what you learn from watching this and then make sure that you can do it on your own, so that you'll be ready for tests and quizzes. So here's number 21 on page 240. Hopefully you've already read through this. You have an equal number of men and women that have applied to this particular committee. So just taking that sentence, what that's telling us is there's an equal likelihood. Likelihood is just another word for probability. There's a 50% likelihood of choosing a man, and also same likelihood for choosing a woman. All right, the committee needs a total of 10 people. They want us to find the probability that 7 of the members will be women. So the way I typically set these up is I will take whatever the problem is asking for. It's eventually wanting me to find out the likelihood that a certain number of these will be women, and I will just let this first percentage represent what the problem says. All right, so this will be the likelihood for women, and then obviously this is going to have to be the likelihood for men. So if you develop a routine in setting these problems up, I think it gets easier when you see these. All right, so we're going to raise both of these percentages to a power. And if we want to know the likelihood that 7 women will be chosen, I'm just going to take the likelihood of a woman being chosen, and I'm going to raise that to the 7th power. Well, if 10 people are chosen in total, and 7 of them are women, that means 3 of them have to be men. Okay? Now I'm about to multiply all this together, but remember, this is just one of the terms in the expansion using the binomial theorem. So the binomial theorem involves a combination factor, okay? And remember, we talked about that in class today. We're going to go to our calculator and do NCR. Well, the N number is the total number of people that need to be on the committee. This other number besides C, remember, it will always match up with this exponent. So the way I have this set up, you can think of it this way. Women represents the successful answer to this particular problem, and then the alternative. Well, this number after C should be the exponent for the alternative always. These should always match up. Okay, so let's grab our calculator and make sure we can come up with this answer, and you can do all of this in one line. So key in 10, press the PRB, arrow over to NCR, enter, and now your calculator should be showing 10 NCR at this point, and now you're going to enter 3, and let's do times. Okay, so your calculator reads 10 NCR 3 times, now we're going to do 0.5 raised to the 7th power times 0.5 raised to the 3rd power. And now we can hit equals, and we get the decimal, which is I'll just write the whole decimal out, 1171875. But I want you to write these in percent form, rounded to the nearest hundredths. So just remember, percent form means slide the decimal 2 places to the right, and then rounded to the hundredths means the 2nd decimal place. So my answer in percent form, rounded, since it's rounded, we'll say approximately 11.72% will be the answer for number 21. Okay, let's try another one. This is number 33A. 33 is broken up into parts A, B, and C. We'll look at letter A, and then we'll take a look at C later. Okay, so we have this football place kicker. He makes 70% of his kicks. Okay, I'm going to write that down. 70% represents makes. Then right away I'm going to think of the alternative. Well, the alternative to making is missing. And the alternative to 70%, if we're going to have 100%, is obviously 30%. So these two percentages should always add up to 100%. There's only two possible outcomes. We usually call this success, and this is failure. Okay, so I got these set up. Find the likelihood, or that's just another word for probability, that he makes 9 of 10. So making 9 means I'm going to raise the make likelihood to the 9th power. And if he made 9 out of 10, that means he had to have missed 1. Okay, once again, this is one of the terms of an expansion. The combination factor, he has 10 attempts, and I'm going to let this number that follows C be the same as the exponent for the alternative to what the problem is asking for. Okay, so once again, let's turn to our calculator. All right, 10 NCR, hopefully you know where that is now, and 1 times 0.7 raised to the 9th power times 0.3 raised to the 1st power, which we really don't need that. You could just say 0.3. And that decimal, just so we can make sure we're together, the decimal that shows on your calculator is 0.1210860821. All right. Well, I'm going to change this to percent form, rounded to the hundredths. So sliding 2 places, I get 12.11%. All right, so that's the answer that I'm looking for in class. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look at letter C. Hopefully these are starting to get a little bit easier. If a team converts 30% of their 2-point conversions, all right, I'm going to write down 30% as a decimal. And right away I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the alternative to not converting? Well, obviously that's missing. And if there's a 30% chance of converting, there's a 70% chance of not converting. Okay, convert, not convert. Okay, let's find the likelihood that they convert 2 of their next 5. So I'm going to take the converting likelihood, raise it to the 2nd. And if they kick 5 times, that means if they made or converted 2, they did not convert 3. All right, once again, let's come up with the combination factor. And since I kicked, or this isn't a kick, these are conversions, 2-point conversions, we're converting 5 times, and I'm just going to let the exponent 3, which represents the alternative to whatever the problem is asking for, that will be the number following C. Just remember, those always match. All right, let's find out what the result of that is. Just key into our calculator. Okay, so now we're ready to grab our calculator, and once again we're going to just key all this in at once. So you key in 5, and then go to NCR, key in 3, times 0.3 raised to the 2nd power, times 0.7 raised to the 3rd. Hit equals, and the decimal that shows on your calculator is 0.3087. And once again, I want these in percent form rounded to the nearest hundredth, so we're just going to slide that decimal 2 places to the right, and we get 30.87%. And that is your answer for 33C. I hope that these will help you with the other problems that are assigned. So make sure you're able to work these on your own. If you have any questions, let me know.